Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this in the morning, 15 minutes to change your life. Chana for Chanukah. The Maimer Tanu Rabbanan Mitzvas Ner Chanukah. Okay. So this share is for shleimah to Elka Rochel Bas Aleeza and refuah shleimah for Chaim Refael Ben Sarah, Bentzion Ben Sarah, Chaim Baruch, Eliezer Ben Raisa, Esther. Okay. So yesterday we started off asking some questions about Chanukah and what the Gemara talks about Chanukah. For example, we asked why is Chanukah 8 days? What's the connection between 8 and Chanukah? Also, what's the connection between Chanukah and zechus? And specifically the different types of avodah, and also why is in Chanukah the menorah is 8 and not like the base of Mikdash, that's what we're commemorating, which is 7. And we have our menorah is 8. Also in the menorah, the base of Mikdash, it was lit while an hour and a quarter before Shkia. It's still daytime, whereas the menorah that we light in the night is in the dark, is dark when it's getting dark. So what's going on over here? Seemingly we're trying to compare and remind ourselves of the menorah of the base of Mikdash, but we're doing it very differently. Now we're going to start going to answer 2 of the questions, and we're going to start getting into it. Yeah. So the main explanation in this. So we're starting Parak base. The idea of the Ner Chanukah is to light up the darkness. Meaning, and this is like a ring in itself, but meaning there's darkness, and then there's light. In our life we have darkness, in our life we have light. And the purpose of the Ner Chanukah, we have this light that can light up the dark parts of us. And you're going to explain it in the next parak in terms of Veda, different ways of understanding it. But this is one way. There's many ways of understanding it. This is one of the ways of understanding it. So what's the story? The Greeks came and they entered into the Heichel. So it's sort of 2 things that happen. They entered into the Heichel and they destroy the Heichel, they contaminate it, and then they come and contaminate all the oil in Heichel. Shehis Gabru, Hachoshech, the Yavanim, that the darkness of the Yavanim got so strong, and it was to such an extent, not just they came into the Heichel and they contaminated it. You could think about it like this. Imagine they're running around in the Heichel, they're destroying it. They're sacrificing, wrong karbanos, doing all these bad things. And then they send someone to go and find all the oil. And what they do is they take off the seal of the Kohen Gadol. They destroy the Kohen Gadol's special seal. And they don't chuck out the oil. The implication is it's not that they come and they just destroy the oil and light a fire on the oil, but they contaminate the seal. Because the whole miracle was they found a jug that had the seal of the Kohen Gadol. Meaning there was plenty of jugs of oil, but they couldn't find one with the seal of the Kohen Gadol. That's what they're trying to get rid of. And we're going to explain this. Also the oil. What's oil? The Shem who b'chinas Kodesh. Oil is holy, but holy in the sense of separate. Like it says, Shem and Mishchas Kodesh, that it's oil that is of anointing and holy. Kadosh mil v'gameh. It's a holy. It's full of itself, meaning it has its own separate thing. And just like oil, in simple terms, we see oil, shitaf al gabe kol mashkin, that it raises itself up on all drinks. It doesn't mix with them, like we learned in the last thing in Chassidus. He talks about over there how the oil is like Chassidus, that it's on one hand it's like totally above. And that's what we're saying here. That oil, in this case, in the physical oil, but also in the spiritual oil within us, we have a level of oil that it totally floats above everything. That it's like to use a simple marshal. If you ever seen like tsunami, if you're in a ship out to sea a little bit, then the tsunami doesn't affect you. You do feel the wave, but you float above it, and the wave comes, but it's not that big, and it comes, and for you just go up and down, and then it keeps on going. And this is sort of what I'm saying here. We have a level within us. There's a level of holiness that it just floats above, and it doesn't get affected by these things. So for this is understood. This is the contaminated all the oil in the hechel. This is it's more relevant, this dimension, this aspect, that they destroyed that they contaminated the oil more than the destruction of the hechel. Because what we're seeing here is they go to the hechel, they come and destroy it, and then they go looking for the oil. Why? Because even though the holiness of the hechel is one of the highest of the 10 levels of holiness. There's 10 levels of holiness in general, like the Yerushalayim, and then it goes up more to the base of Mikdash, and then there's the levels in the base of Mikdash, and then there's the hechel. Even though this is a very high level, nevertheless, to the extent that even after they came and they went and after the Yidden won and they came and they tried to fix up the hechel, after that they still needed a miracle to come and light the menorah. Meaning after they came in and they recaptured the base of Mikdash, which was, hey, we did it, we captured the base of Mikdash. Another miracle had to happen, which was to go find this oil, the special oil, which shows that it's even higher, even holier, it's even more separated than the hechel. The miracle is on two aspects. One is, first of all, they managed to find some oil that they still had the seal of the Kohen Gadol, which is in spiritual terms, God's infinite light that transcends, that goes above the structure of nature. That in regards to this level, even darkness won't darken. But on the contrary, this light, it shines the darkness, that even the darkness will shine. Like it says, Avaye, V'Havaye, and Avaye. With the Vav, the additional Vav is Yegir Chashki. And Avaye will light on darkness. That the added Vav alludes to this additional light. V'Avaye means an additional light. We're adding an additional light that can transform the darkness. So what we're saying is, so what we're saying here in simple is that the Greeks came and they waged a war, not just against the Yidden and the Hechel, but and they try to contaminate the oil. They didn't destroy the oil. They didn't come to destroy it. Like we see that it says the miracle was to find oil that still was sealed with the seal of Kohen Gadol. That's what they were fighting against. And we're going to explain tomorrow what they were against, maybe even today. But what we're saying is that they came to destroy that. So what is that? What is that oil that it still has the seal? It's very safe that it's above the world. That on that level, very safe that's above the world, it shines, and it's not just it shines, but it shines to the extent of that even the darkness, that it can, even on that level, even darkness doesn't darken. So we could say, and now so with that we can answer two of the questions: why we light it at night? Because we see here we light it at night because we're talking about a special type of oil that has the ability to lighten up the darkness. So that's why we have to light it at night. And why is it 8? We asked one of the questions: why is it 8? This is why it's 8, because 8 is representative of it's above nature, and this is the special oil that we find. So you could say, in more of like personal terms, that in life we have darkness, but we also have this jug of oil that is pure, pristine, hasn't been touched. No one, so to speak, tainted it. You have the seal of the Kohen Gadol, and we have this jug of oil that even the Greeks and anything can come and try to get to us and destroy us and our negative thoughts or people around us. But we have this crucible of oil, the special jug, still has the seal of the Kohen Gadol. Nothing can touch that. And even more, not just nothing can touch that oil that we have can come and transform the darkness. That we have darkness in our lives, and we have situations that are hard. We have to realize more than those dark situations, we have this special light, and not just we have this special light that it has the ability to come and to transform these things, but that's what it's there for. It's to reveal in those areas you might find hard, find that dark, that you can see that even that darkness doesn't darken. You have the ability to do that. Yeah, very, very interesting. Let's see here. So Chanukah, and this is why the ner Chanukah is mitzvah mishatishka chamadafka. It's specifically when the sun is setting, after the sun sets. The whole purpose of Chanukah is to light the darkness that we just saw. And this is also answering the second question. Why the lights of Chanukah are 8? Because also the days are 8. Why is 8? What's the connection with 8? With 8, Kanal, Sif Aleph, we explained in the beginning of Sif Aleph, it's a level above nature. That specifically, when you tap into a level above nature, you can even transform the darkness. You have things in your life that are dark. You have struggles that are real, and you don't know how to get out of it. But you have to recognize, and what we're saying is, what we're going to hopefully learn here, is that you can tap in to this level that you have within you. That's the mind says. You have this oil, this jug of oil that is sealed, is pure, pristine. Nothing can touch it. You can destroy the whole heichel. You can destroy everything. But you still have this oil. And with that ability, you can come and transform and take that darkness and light it up. Yeah, okay. Let's try to jump in to, we have a few minutes to go into Eis Gimel. In this book, it's page 267 in this book, yeah. Eis Gimel. So let's understand this a little bit, this last bit, in terms of the avoid of a person. So first we have to understand what's going on with this wall. What was and now we're going to discuss really, I guess maybe we'll wait for tomorrow, but we'll discuss it outside. So essentially, what we're going to discuss is that the war that the Greeks were having with the Jewish people wasn't against Torah Mitzvahs per se. It was against the godliness in Torah Mitzvahs. That we can do Torah Mitzvahs, it's going to be dry, cold, and apathetic, and nothing to do with God. It's like someone told me that he saw someone davening. Yeah, I was on Shabbos actually. I heard it. Someone davening mincha, like a crazy mincha. Like it looked like, he's davening for his life. And he sees every day he davens in the minyan, and he sees these guys davening like this every day mincha. So one day he comes to him and he says to him, like, I see your mincha is out of this world. What, how? What are you doing? He said he learned that if you daven mincha with a lot of kavanah, you're going to get a good place in Elam Haba. So the guy is davening mincha, but it's devoid of God. Nothing going to do with God. It's going about his Elam Haba. So too, what we're saying is the Greeks' issue mainly wasn't so much the Torah and the mitzvahs by itself. They thought Torah is a very intellectual sefer and it's a lot to learn from. But it was the fact that Yid did Torah mitzvahs because it's Hashem. It's like it says by Avraham Avinu that by the Akedah Yitzchak, when he comes to go do the Akedah in this 10th test, and this is sort of severe, it says, I think it's in the Medrash, in the Gemara, it says, Hashem says to Avram, please fulfill this one, or otherwise all the other tests will be worthless. So the question is obvious. Why is it worthless? This is a very hard test. You're sacrificing your son. And Hashem tells Avram, this is going to be your son that's going to lead, it's going to take over, and he's going to be, you're going to have all these children, and it's coming from Yitzchak, and now he tells him to sacrifice Yitzchak. Why can't he just say, listen, this is Adkan. I can put myself in the fire of Ur-Kazdim. I can, Avram gone to a fire earlier, and he did, it's crazy Mesiras Nefesh. I can do it, but this is a little too much for me. Why is everything valueless? The Rebbe explains beautifully that's not because the other tests could have been because Avram believes in the cause, or it's like Mesiras Nefesh based on my logic. I believe in this cause. I'm willing to die for the cause. So Avram is willing to die for the cause. So if it means it has to be thrown in the fire, I'll get thrown in the fire. But if when the cause comes and says, do exact opposite of who you are, Avram is Ish Chesed, and sacrificing his son is not a thing of kindness. And Hashem told Avram that Yitzchak is going to be your continuation. So then taking Yitzchak and shafting him is going to go against that. Avram could say, listen, this is not good. This is not my plan. My plan didn't work this way. I'm not doing this. But Avram had a true Mesiras Nefesh. He was giving himself over. Mesiras Nefesh, Rebbe says over there, is Meisa Zich. You give yourself over. This is what Hashem wants from me. So what we're going to learn here is that the Greeks had this problem. They hated this. They said, do Torah mitzvahs because it makes sense. Keep Shabbos because it's good to take a break from your phone. Keep kashrus because it's healthy. But to do it because Hashem said so, no, you can't do that. I didn't like this. And this is what they're kind of trying to contaminate us. But we, Baruch Hashem, we stood then, and with Hashem, we will withstand today, meaning in our lives. To be continued tomorrow. Have a great day.